All right, in today's video, we're going to be examining 3 different clips on why this cycle feels different and is it different, kind of my 2 Satoshis on it, and I want to know what you guys think as well. So stay tuned.
Watching Bitcoin climb higher feels like watching a train leave without you, but it's not too late. At Drip2BTC, you can grow your Bitcoin like never before. Earn up to 3,000% APR on credit conversions and discounts on Bitcoin purchases. Step 1, buy Bitcoin. Step 2, deposit it. Step 3, let your wallet do the work. Don't miss this chance to change your life. Start today at Drip2BTC.com.
Hey guys, welcome back. Drip Coach here with Drip and Farm for Poverty, where we don't trust, we verify, and operate with integrity and transparency. So, you guys have already heard this from me, so spoiler TLDR, I do feel like this cycle is playing out differently, and that's one from my feelings of seeing what I experienced last cycle and what is playing out now, then of course digesting narratives from the people that I like to get information from that I feel are smarter and been in the cycles longer, got more skin in the game than me. So could be wrong, could be just drinking the Kool-Aid and trying to tell myself this is the way it is, but either way, I feel as though if you're betting on Bitcoin, it'll work itself out regardless. So we're gonna play this intro clip from Swan, then we got some stuff from Raoul and from Jack, and it just a lot of data points to this, but I wanna know what you guys think. Like, I know I've seen in some of my comments that people think the top was already in and that's it. So I'm curious to see if you follow this take or if you're in the other camp where it's doom and gloom.
For over a decade, Bitcoin has been known for one thing above all else: volatility. Boom and bust, greed and fear. The 4-year cycle became gospel. Halvings, blow-off tops, brutal drawdowns. But this time, almost everyone agrees something does feel different. And it's not just vibes. The data backs it up too. Drawdowns this cycle have been shallow, typically 25 to 30%, but they take months to resolve. Volatility is half of what it was in 2021, and a third of what it was in 2017, and yet the price just keeps grinding higher. This isn't the parabolic mania we've come to expect. It's more of a slow-motion supply shock playing out in real time. Brad Mills recently laid out a bold thesis and some compelling charts, arguing that Bitcoin cycles may be over entirely. His view: we've crossed the institutional chasm. Retail-driven boom and bust cycles are giving way to structurally driven demand from ETFs, treasury strategies, and sovereign-scale entities. And like the S&P 500 in the quantitative easing era, Bitcoin may now be trading in a parallel ascending channel, with shallower drawdowns, longer consolidations, and relentless capital inflow from large players who don't sell. The volatility is shrinking, the hot money is leaving, but conviction is higher than ever. And if you're serious about building generational wealth through Bitcoin, not chasing alt.
So I actually want to look at these charts. I didn't pull these up from the X post, but it definitely seems as though this is different due to these factors that he mentioned. And obviously there's a lot of people out there doing research on all this. And that's what I keep saying. It's because we've seen the legislation, we've seen the information coming out about sovereign wealth funds and all these Bitcoin treasury companies. Are you seeing Sailor buying the dip all the time, or just buying in general? Now there's 2 sides to that coin. One is like, yeah, it could be playing out like this. 2 is that maybe it's all paper Bitcoin and we just don't know any better. I don't know. I would like to think there are definitely some companies like Jack Mallers 21. He is definitely self-custodying his Bitcoin, taking it off the exchanges. So that is coming off the books for us to see transparently on chain. Sailor, I have no idea because he's buying, I believe, OTC sometimes and through Coinbase. And with Coinbase, there's been all sorts of information in the news about whether or not they actually have all the Bitcoin or they're selling paper Bitcoin. I have no idea. But either way, there is money coming in. That's the one thing we can say. Well, we actually don't have certainty on that either, right? Because we can't see the balance sheets or look at the money that they're actually spending. We're just taking what they're tweeting and believing it. So unless it's just one big global Ponzi and somehow the elites and those pulling the chains are doing this to usher in a new regime of control somewhere, then to me, that's unlikely. It doesn't make any sense. There's no possible way for that to be a global coordinated attack. Too many different entities with different opinions and ideologies that they would not be able to work together like this. But hey, tinfoil hat theory, right? So I'm in this camp here, believing that it is just kind of more of a consolidation channel with shorter drawdowns, as they mentioned. But we'll have to see how it plays out. Like right now, it just feels like kind of the boring zone. Let's get this clip from Raoul Pal. I believe that's what this one. No, this one's Jack. Yeah, there's a clip from Jack where he's saying something similar.
Market cycles. I think Bitcoin market cycles are likely different than the past. Hold on though. Don't you dare clip this and put it on Twitter that I said this time is different. I do believe we will have bull and bear markets. I absolutely do, because I think that's just human psychology. That's reaching euphoria. And then that's, you have sellers that overwhelm the market, and then people can despair, panic. So I think human beings are predominantly what causes, our emotions are what cause these bull and bear cycles, in my opinion. So I do think we will experience dips and ones that make your stomach turn. Absolutely. But I do think we're in a structurally different era where these 4-year cycles are clearly, this one's clearly different. We're clearly correlated to global liquidity. We're clearly correlated to the macro environment. Bitcoin is clearly the best expression and the most sensitive index as to how much money is being printed around the world. And so if the next few years continue to be a lot of stimulus, a lot of dollar liquidity, then I think Bitcoin's going to continue to catch a bid. I really, really do. Now, it doesn't mean it can't have corrections. I don't know. I don't know who asked this question, but were you around when Bitcoin went from 100,000 to 70,000? The vibes on the show were very not good. Bitcoin down 30, 35%. I thought you said Bitcoin was the greatest ever. So, I don't know. Is that a dip? Did that make people's stomach turn? I'd say so, judging by the emotions in the chat. So Bitcoin's still going to have these corrections, 20%, 25%, 30%, inevitably, maybe 70, 80%. But I think that 70 and 80% comes from like $1 million a coin. So I can imagine Bitcoin ticking $1 million a coin and falling all the way down to 300,000 at some point, years ahead. Who knows? I don't know, but I definitely don't want to assume that market cycles are over. Sounds dangerous.
The exact camp that I'm in, like market cycles are definitely not over. It's 100% driven by this. It's always been that way, and humans are going to human going forward until machines get in. Like, whoa, just thought about that in real time. Imagine. And that's what Raoul Pal's talking about. Okay, that finally just clicked. In his everything code thesis, and why he keeps saying we have until 2030, is because things are going to shift so much. So right now, since the dawn of man, this has been how we trade, because we have emotions. Imagine when AIs are actually doing a lot of this stuff behind the scenes and you remove the human component. They're not going to have this. They're just going to look at complete fundamentals. It's like that movie Limitless, where he took the pills and he was able to analyze charts and stuff like that. People thought he was an idiot and he started making tons of money. It's because he removed the emotion and just looked at trends and data points. Man, I'd go down a whole rabbit hole on that. That's crazy. But anyway, and not going to try to segue on that. Since we still have this and humans are still behind the wheel, I'm exactly with Jack. I believe that we're going to see booms and busts, ups and downs. And like he just mentioned, we had this, and I was telling you guys about this on my channel. I had in buy orders. I got excited because I actually bought the dip. It worked out great for me. Let's see, what was the date? How long did that take that we dropped to that level? So we're here. And that was over a 80-day period. And then to get back out of that, took us half the time, 43 days, 42 days. So yeah, it's still definitely here. And then like he said, I think even Sailor said the same thing, that yeah, we can still have these huge corrections, 60, 70, 80%, but it probably won't be until Bitcoin is at a much higher price. So you can clip what I said, and I've said it multiple times on my channel, that yeah, I think the 100K is the new low, just like 70 was the low from the previous cycle, because that was, well, technically that was the previous cycle high that became the cycle low that we touched, and now we're back higher above that. And yeah, I just don't see us going back to 70 again. And there's still that gap order fill in like the low teens. I don't think we'll ever see that. That would take some kind of crazy catastrophic Bitcoin event. But either way, like Jack said, like I think we're going to just continue to trade higher, and there's just so many factors that go into this that it makes it harder to see long-term, much more violent swings. So also, we got a clip from Raoul saying basically the exact same thing as well. So again, I could just be drinking the Kool-Aid and trying to find people that echo my sentiment, but it just feels that way.
cycle because of this. I'm starting to err towards, well, we've talked about this before, a longer cycle, just because the business cycle is still below 50. So generally it takes a while to climb up. And then we use the GMI Financial Conditions Index, and that has a 9-month lead. And with the dollar breaking down even today, it's starting to suggest that this may go even into Q2 2026. So it's like the whole cycle got shifted because rates didn't get adjusted and the dollar was sideways for a period of time. So it feels that potentially there is a chance, and again, there's no guarantees in this world, that we're more like 2020 than we are in 2021.
Yeah.
Or it's spookily similar to 2017 for me. So,
and I believe that is in the cards going well into next year, especially what I mentioned with Jerome Powell. So I think I put this in my previous video. Let's just say again, he doesn't cut rates. The market's already factored that in, but they have to eventually cut rates. You saw that from the debt that we have. There's not enough cutting. You're going to have the midterms coming around if they get elected. So, and Powell is out, I think like it's May 2026, and guarantee that whoever Trump brings in would be someone that would listen to him and do what he's saying in regards to cutting rates. And actually, there have been other people in the Fed talking about it's time to cut rates. So again, let's just go with the absolute bearish scenario. They don't cut and we got to push this all the way out into May. Well, just like Raoul just said, this could extend into second quarter. Well, that's right there in the second quarter. And that could literally kick off a brand new money printer bull run, because right now you got other countries cutting rates and the US has not. So if we could just continue to trade sideways, chop sideways, kind of like this chart is showing, you still got countries and entities and companies buying Bitcoin at record levels. Well, that means we'll still get some drawdowns because there's still gonna be some sells. And again, there could still be paper Bitcoin, like I said, but the minute the money printer kicks in for the US, well, that's going to bring retail in as well. I don't think this is driven by retail, but that would just be another catalyst that would just skyrocket this thing. So it just makes sense to me that this is going to be an extended, longer, kind of a new Bitcoin era. And I think it's great. Like, have DCAs every day for Bitcoin. I think right now it's just $100 a day. So I am perfectly happy with being Bitcoin between 100 to 120, because I missed 16, 30, 60, 70. I missed all those because I was drinking the Kool-Aid in a community cult shit token project. So I think it's Sailor that says you get Bitcoin, or maybe it's Pfizer, you get Bitcoin at the price you deserve. So that's the price I got to pay for not paying attention 4 years ago. So I'll be happy if it chops sideways, consolidates for now, and then, slowly grinds up and doesn't get that blow off top for months ahead. That to me is bullish. So I want to know what you guys think. Which camp are you in? New cycle, or is it actually down from here? Where do you sit? And what are you doing in regards to that information? That's the real thing. It doesn't really matter what you believe. Your actions is what's going to dictate how your outcomes will be, what your life will be going forward. And man, I'm going to have to deep dive on that idea about this changing in the future, because shit, that is heavy. Like he said, you got until 2030 to unfuck your future, because things are just going to change dramatically. And it could be sooner than that, or even later, of course. But with the way that AI is growing, this is crazy. That definitely gives me some pause right now, because we're able to capitalize on this because humans are in control of this. But yeah, what happens when that changes, man? Man, some heavy thoughts. But stack sats, stay humble, lift daily, and achieve your impossible. See ya.